full-length cassettes all for $19.99. 2 compact discs all for $24.99. And it makes a perfect gift. Order now and light up your holidays.
From all of us.
So call now and ask for the Disney Christmas Collection. Here's how to order.
To order your Disney Christmas Collection, call 1-800-257-1257 or send $19.99 for 2 cassettes or $24.99 for 2 compact discs, plus $4 shipping and handling to Disney Christmas Collection, P.O. Box 8250, Atlanta, Georgia.
This is CNN.
Parades on TV, turkeys in the oven, symbols of Thanksgiving.
Catalog shopping beats the crowds, but will it beat the time crunch? Our guest takes the worry out of buying by mail.
We'll have these stories and more for this Thursday, November 28th, Thanksgiving Day.
This is Day Watch with Bob Cain and Donna Kelley. News for the conscientious consumer.
Hello and happy Thanksgiving. A time for families, for feasts, and for some football.
This is one of the most traditional of American holidays, and Americans are celebrating it in the usual ways from coast to coast and beyond.
In space, the 6 Atlantis astronauts are dining on turkey tetrazzini. They just have to add water, we're told. And roast chickens on the menu for the 8 people inside the glass-in Biosphere 2. Remember when we had that live coverage from the Arizona desert?
One of the most enduring Thanksgiving traditions is in New York City, Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. CNN correspondent Charles Feldman is there.
Good morning to you, and I think we're looking now at, yes, it is. It's Baba, the king of elephants, who is, it's not Baba? Wait, I think it is Baba. Wait, Chris Taylor, who is my co-anchor here. That's Baba over there, isn't it?
Yes.
Behind?
In the blue, yes.
In the blue, yeah, of course that's Baba, that's right. It's Baba, the king of elephants, who is the newest of the balloons here in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. We've been here, of course, all morning, Chris and I.
Yes.
And let me ask you something, Chris. You've been watching this for some time now. What do you think about what you've seen this morning? You were here last year. How does this stack up to last year's parade?
I think it's a lot better with the new balloons and bringing the old balloons back. And I've seen a lot more a lot of other parades, and I think this takes the top.
Better than last year, right?
Yes.
Now, you know, some of the balloons that weren't here last year haven't been here for a couple of years, and I heard as they passed by the crowd, like Linus the Lionhearted, some of the kids in the crowd were going, "Who's that? Who's it?" Did you know who all the balloons were?
Yes.
You did, but you cheated, though. You studied last night,
yes.
didn't you? Okay. But were there some that were more favorites than others? What about Bart Simpson?
I would probably think yes. Bart Simpson, Babar.
Right.
Some of those would stack up now because they know more about them and who they are. More kids read their comics or read their books and know who they are.
Now, for those people that are just joining us, we were saying all morning that there were 17 balloons, right,
yes.
in this parade this year, which is the most number of balloons that they've had. And some of them were old ones, and then a few of them were new, like Baba, the king of elephants. And some of them didn't look too good, did they? Some of them looked like the helium was going out. What was wrong with them?
Betty Boop's moon had hit the post back there, and it had a huge rip in it and lost the helium.
Betty Boop was a bit soft,
yes.
but we won't go into any more details about that one. What about Kermit the Frog? Kermit didn't look too good either.
Lost a foot and an arm, yeah.
A foot and an arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like he was in an automobile wreck a little bit.
Yeah.
But, you know, the way they make these balloons, they're so big, and as I'm sure you know, Chris, they're made in sort of compartments so that they're in sections. And if something goes wrong and they can't inflate an arm or a foot, they just sort of tie it, as they did with Kermit, to the rest of the balloon so that the show can go on and the balloon can still fly. And, you know, some years when there's a lot of wind out here, these balloons, some of which are 7 stories tall, which is pretty big,
yes.
These balloons can go real high if the wind is right. Now, today, it's cold, but it's not all that windy, so some of them look like they were touching the ground, were they?
Yes, actually. Bugs Bunny, Woody Woodpecker, Kermit the Frog, a lot of them were actually touching the ground.
It was pretty, when they come that close and they're so big, that's pretty awesome, isn't it?
Yes, it's amazing, and they have few people walking around pushing them back up.
Would you like to be one year sort of in the parade, actually, one of the people on the ground who's sort of lugging those balloons along? It looks like kind of fun.
Yeah, and I'm sure you could get rope burn easily.
Rope burn, yeah, I suppose so. Now, you know, right, at the end of the parade, after all the balloons go by and after all the floats go by, there's one person that still has the sort of final say in the final appearance, and you know who that is, right?
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus, right. Santa Claus comes out, and it's his return to New York City. He does it every year.
Yes.
And, you know, someone said to me before, I had said earlier to you, I think, that Santa is the last thing in the parade, and someone said, no, the last thing in the parade is the New York City Sanitation Department, which comes along and cleans up afterwards. So we don't want to get any nasty letters, do we, from the Sanitation Department? We ought to give them credit where credit is due, don't you think, Chris? What do you think of the crowd? It's a good turnout.
Yes, very big. I thought it would be smaller because of how cold it is. But apparently it isn't.
Now, I think if we look real carefully, Chris, I think you and I and our audience at home can see, is that? Yes, it is. It's, who is that?
Babar. Oh, Santa Claus.
It's Santa Claus, right.
There.
So there comes Santa Claus, and that means that we're reaching the sort of end of the parade, at least as it passes by where we are. We're at Columbus Circle, which is in the northern part of Manhattan, up by Central Park West, which is the area where the parade begins. It then moves its way, winding its way down Broadway, and ends up in front of Macy's, which, of course, is the organization that for 65 years now has sponsored this particular Thanksgiving Day parade. So we are going to be here until this ends, and we will let our audience in on anything exciting that happens, right, Chris?
Yes.
Okay, so don't go anywhere, and we won't go anywhere. This is Charles Feldman and Chris Taylor reporting live from New York.
Charles and Chris, thanks very much. Coming up on Day Watch, a holiday price list for the person who has everything, from a dozen drummers drumming to a partridge in a pear tree. We're going to run down the cost of the 12 days of Christmas.
It's going up. And then beating holiday madness at the malls and shopping by the numbers. An expert will offer us some do's and don'ts on catalog shopping.
And in sports, the Lions try to turn the Bears into turkeys in their annual Thanksgiving football fest. Vanderbilt Wright will be here with that story and more.
Wonder what's going on here. It must be a Republican party.
Cordon Negro Brut and extra dry by Freshenette. There's a party in every bottle.
The Christmas jingle tie from Wembley, now performing in great stores across America.
A man called Dad is the most important man in his life. And even though the time between them has a way of passing a little too quickly, there's one thing that can make it last. A Lionel train. For over 90 years, Lionel has had the power to move two people closer together and let them build something they'll never forget. Look for Lionel trains at toy and hobby stores near you, because no childhood should be without a train.
Herman, you got the cellular phone, don't you?
Sure, I got it. Hello?
Lee Trevino?
No. But hold on. Mr. Trevino!
Did you find it?
I'll find it. Mr. Trevino! I'll find it.
You can find a lot of cellular phones, but only one brand gives you Motorola durability.
Lee, what's wrong? Hello? Hello?
Hello? Ah, nothing, Bob. Someone just got hit by a caddy. So ask for Motorola, because the way we put them together sets us apart.
Having your parents treat you like you're 7 when you're 47 is a real problem. Can you ever grow up without growing away from your parents? We'll talk about that today on Sonia Live, 1 p.m. Eastern, only on CNN.
Well, going all out in the tradition of the 12 days of Christmas will cost more this year. Economist J. Patrick Bradley's released his annual price list of gifts mentioned in the song. His Christmas price index shows the cost of a partridge in a pear tree up 2 cents. Some things are unchanged, though, but falling gold prices help make buying 5 golden rings $187 easier. Hiring milking maids, leaping lords and ladies, pipers and drummers is getting a little more pricey. Total cost of the musical prize package this year is $15,455.79, not including tax. That is up more than $224 from last year, Donna.
Oh, my. Pipers piping and maids milking may not be on your holiday list, but if you're still trying to drum up some gift ideas, our guest today could help. Lisa Caugherty is with us in New York. She is director of the Shop at Home Information Center, and she has some tips to make shopping simple right from your home. Ms. Caugherty, welcome to you.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Well, happy Thanksgiving to you, too. We're glad you could join us today on this holiday. Still time as we look ahead tomorrow to the biggest shopping day traditionally for a lot of folks. Still time tomorrow to look in your catalog and get an order going?
Oh, definitely. Most companies can receive your orders up until the 22nd or 23rd of December using overnight delivery, which would be an additional charge to the consumer, but many times a very good fee, not much money. But other than that, you can still shop until about the 15th of December with no extra expense on your part to get the merchandise you want to wherever you would like it to go.
Okay, and if you don't see that printed right down on the order form, you probably should ask to see if there is a charge.
Oh, yes, you can ask the customer service representative all those types of questions, but it should be very clearly spelled out on the order form inside the catalog, along with all the other information you need about special gift handling if you would like the company to gift wrap the merchandise for you or box it with and enclose a handwritten note card and things like that. They can help you with that as well.
Talking about special gifts, what about things that are perishable?
Oh, that's a wonderful holiday gift. The master packers at the catalog companies really have perfected the mechanisms to make sure that your merchandise is received in perfect condition. Because if it's not, you won't be happy and you might not shop again with that company. So perishables are a wonderful gift item and certainly something that can arrive between Christmas and New Year's and still be enjoyed in the holiday spirit and not be charged extra money for the overnight delivery.
What, since you touched on that, what about return policies? Even if you just don't like something?
Well, the companies, again, have very strong policies for the consumer. The consumer benefits here in a big way. Most companies offer unconditional guaranteed satisfaction and return policies, and that means for the life of the product as well as your own life. So if there is a concern or you want to make an exchange for any reason, just follow the instructions in the merchandise package and just return it as they've instructed. If you've misplaced that slip of paper, just call the catalog company and they'll instruct you as to the address and how the merchandise should be packaged.
All right. I understand that you brought along a couple of examples of some neat, new, nifty stuff.
Oh, I have some real favorites here, a couple of them. The Company of Women catalog is one that's a new company, and most of the proceeds go to benefit victims of domestic violence and rape, and that's a nice catalog, especially at the holiday times. It's all types of gift items. It's not just safety items. It's a lot of gift merchandise as well. Another one that I enjoy is Ars Mundi, and this is an international catalog that's also based in the United States, and this will have some of the world's finest museum and art reproductions. They have wonderful shipping charges that benefit the consumer, where you are not paying much, especially if the item is maybe a mask from Tutankhamun's abode in Egypt. And the last one that I brought along is Calyx and Corolla. This is fresh flowers by mail, and Calyx and Corolla will pick the flowers and ship it the same day using overnight delivery. They come in perfect condition, they're well protected, and a lovely gift any time of the year.
All right, Lisa Caugherty, the Shop at Home Information Center Director, thanks very much for being with us today.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
And tomorrow on Watch Your Dollars, it is the biggest shopping day of the year, and we'll have some tips on how to protect your credit and stay out of debt. More news is coming up right after this.
Watch Your Dollars is brought to you by GE Crystal Clear Cordless Telephones, because the last thing you need in your life is more static.
The best thing about this GE Crystal Clear cordless telephone is that it's virtually static-free,
So cool.
which is really
I
great,
think I'm gonna die.
since most of us have enough static in our lives. Like teenagers.
Cool. Gotta go. It's for me. No, it's for me.
Hello? No, it's not for either of you. Sorry.
GE Crystal Clear cordless telephones. Because the last thing you need in your life is more static.
For you.
Thanks, Dad.
You got it, babe.
Dad. Grandma's got a date. What's a date? That's when you hug someone.
Closeness. You might hesitate if you wore a diaper. So Johnson & Johnson created Serenity Guards, bladder-controlled protection so advanced, it holds as much as something 5 times its size and stays dry, locking liquid in.
Grandma, are you gonna hug him? Hug me.
Oh. Give yourself hugs for discovering Serenity from Johnson & Johnson.
You can count on Sears for great Christmas values, like this original DP ergometer, just $199.99, reduced $100. It measures pulse, speed, time, and distance. America's best seller at our lowest price ever, only at Sears.
Your dentist told you about plaque, but you didn't listen. You need the new Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover. It removes plaque, just like your dentist wants you to.
That shelf should hold now, Doc.
The Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover.
Bring home the magic, intrigue, and passion. Kevin Costner is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, at an affordable low price wherever video is sold.
Too much traffic when I came in this morning to work. A lot of holiday
nice?
folks. Yeah, in a way it is. And then that means that those folks are already where they want to be for Thanksgiving. A few folks apparently going to have a little trouble with the weather, though.
It is the Christmas shopping season. We know that not because it is Thanksgiving, not because the Macy's parade went down Broadway today, but because Flip Spiceland is wearing his Christmas tie.
Do this every year. We start with my Christmas tie, and I promise you, over the next 1 month, you will be seeing the tie a lot. It's become sort of the CNN tradition. We put turkey on the air, and I wear a Christmas tie on Thanksgiving. We have a problem, as Donna pointed out, right in here. Sort of caught me a little bit off guard. I had predicted snowfall in this area, and in fact there is. But in an area between the snow and rain, we have some very slick roads because of sleet, and it's in a band that stretches across Nebraska and up into Iowa and actually over into northern Illinois. It is a long stretch, but it is not a very wide band. It's a very, very narrow band, and that's the worst of it. North of that, we do have a little bit of snow, but the snowfall seems to be rather light. Over into the Ohio Valley and down into the Plain States, it is all in the form of rain. Best weather in the country today is in the southeast, where it's going to be nice and bright and sunny, and temperatures are going to be very close to 70 degrees. Some places in Florida will hit 80. South Texas could see 80 today, too. In the far west, we're in good shape, but this storm that is producing that very slick road weather here in the Plain States has been a problem. It's producing lots of snow in the ski resort area, so maybe there's some good news there. Take a look now at our forecast weather map for Alaska, Hawaii, and the Caribbean. Snowfall in Alaska on Thanksgiving, and cloudy skies in southern Alaska. Cloudy skies in Hawaii today are predicted. Look now at our forecast weather map for the lower 48, and you'll be able to see that the snowfall will continue to stretch across the Plain States into the Midwest through the Great Lakes area by tonight. This is that very narrow band that I spoke of. And again, what hit us here was that band at this hour, or at least an hour ago, was still freezing rain. We do think that by tonight it will change all the way over to snow, but then I thought early this morning it would be all in the form of snow. So we do have a bit of a travel problem right in there. But for the rest of it, it is just a light and widely scattered rainfall. Of course, as Donna pointed out, most people are where they are going. We want to watch this storm for tomorrow and the next day when people start trying to get home. We'll have more weather coming up later. Right now, take a look at specific forecasts for cities around the nation for the remainder of the day. Now back to Donna.
Thank you, Flip. Bill Cosby may be known as a comedian, but he's made some very serious remarks to Showbiz Today about the AIDS epidemic. His controversial comments arose during a discussion about basketball star Magic Johnson.
I think that what happened with Magic Johnson has clearly sent a signal which will aid this world in finding a cure for something that I think was started by human beings to get after certain people they didn't like. That's my belief. I have no proof, but I am allowed to just believe. And since I'm not blaming anybody in particular, but I do think that this whole thing was human being induced to spread and kill certain people. I don't know. It's just a feeling that I have, because it's just too.
There've been a lot of theories.
Well, it's just too spooky.
Cheryl Washington continues her conversations with Cosby on a special Thanksgiving edition of Showbiz Today. That is at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on CNN.
Van Earl Wright is in from the sports desk with a list of some of the reasons why a lot of people will be sitting in front of the tube today.
Got that right. Football always a Thanksgiving tradition, and it continues today. It will be a battle for first place in the NFC Central when the Bears take on the Lions inside the Silverdome. And inside, the key word here for Detroit, since they are a perfect 8-0 playing indoors this season. The same could not be said for their play outdoors. For example, earlier this month, the Bears used a couple of second-half touchdown tosses from Jim Harbaugh to Wendell Davis to beat the Lions, and at the time take sole possession of first place in the black and blue, so Detroit will be motivated by revenge this afternoon.
It's a big rivalry, and added to that, they beat us in Chicago when we felt we had an opportunity to win. We felt that we should have won the game, and that was one of those games that hurt more than any other game this year to lose, and so it's a lot of incentive for this game.
It's going to be a good game. Defensively, they got to stop Barry Sanders. Offensively, we got to put points on the board because we know that they can score a lot of points in these domes. So, they got a perfect record in domes this year, but nobody's unbeatable. Just look at the Washington Redskins.
The other NFL game will take place later today when the Dallas Cowboys try to keep hope alive for a wild card spot as they host the Pittsburgh Steelers. On to the NBA now, where the Lakers continue to overcome against bad odds. Playing without big man Vlade Divac and Eldon Campbell, they still managed to win their 9th straight game last night, and it took place at the arena in Miami. Using the D to get back in the game against the Heat, Byron Scott with the big finish for the Lakers. Close game throughout the second half of this contest. L.A. battling Miami. The Heat a surprise this year. Bimbo Coles in the final seconds of the game to pull his team within 2, and then off the inbounds pass, Grant Long makes the steal, scores, and they were knotted and tied with 8 seconds left on the inbounds play. Sedell Threatt got it, worked his way in, seconds ticking away, and Sedell wheeled and dealed and got the bounce as time expired to send the Lakers to a 2-point victory over the Miami Heat. More sports throughout the day with Jim Huber, and when he chats with you in the next hour, he'll give you details on a big 4-player trade between the Dodgers and Reds. Right now it's time to find out what's going on in the kitchen with the Wolfman.
Thanksgiving is one of the rare occasions when an entire animal is brought to the table for carving. This is an ancient ceremony that goes back to our earliest family and tribal history, to a time when the rewards of the hunt were shared with the clan. The head of the household is responsible for the carving and the distribution of the cuts, in much the same way as the chief hunter dispensed portions after the chase. It was a method by which the head man assigned a specific level of status to each of the assembled diners. The recipient of a slice of neck was well below the rank of the eater of the breast meat. You could look at a dining table and tell how important a person was by the cut of meat on their dish. Amazing, but true. America, however, is a stronghold of democracy. We work hard at moving our society toward greater and greater equality. We try to avoid systems that set up symbols of hierarchy and status. One result is that more and more of our food is pre-cut, pre-measured, pre-shaped, and pre-processed into a form where one piece is indistinguishable from the next. No more tension over who gets the drumstick. No more disappointment because the white meat has run out. Democracy has given us a kitchen of equality. From the American Festival Cafe in New York City, that's what's cooking for today. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm Bert Wolf.
Have you had your V8 today? Did you know that V8 juice has less than half the calories of that apple?
Wow!
Did you know that V8 has more vitamins A and C than that tossed salad?
Wow!
And did you know that V8 is 100% vegetable juice, so it has no fat, unlike that low-fat yogurt?
Wow!
So how do you feel now that you know these things?
Wow! I gotta have a V8.
V8 is a nutritious blend of 8 vegetable juices that taste terrific. Have you had your V8 today?
You know your love keeps lifting me, keeps on lifting me higher, higher. I said your love keeps lifting me, keeps on lifting me higher, higher.
GE Space Maker products. A higher level of entertainment for your kitchen.
Kids laugh when I talk. I hate words. I want to be a writer.
I was a dedicated beard wearer until my wife gave me the new Remington Microscreen Elite. It's quick. It's close. The Remington Microscreen Elite has 2 ultra-thin screens. So comfortable, shaves as close as a blade or your money back. That's Remington.
Tonight, an alleged sexual assault thrusts 2 people into a media spotlight. Who are the victims in the William Kennedy Smith trial? A profile on CNN's The World Today, 6 Eastern tonight.
The President and Mrs. Bush are spending this Thanksgiving at Camp David in Maryland. Mr. Bush took time out for a brief holiday address to the nation. In it, the President asked congressional Democrats to declare a political truce, long enough, he said, to help repair the nation's troubled economy.
When I give the State of the Union speech in January, I will ask Congress to lay aside election year politics at least long enough to enact a common-sense series of economic growth measures. I will ask politicians to restrain their personal ambitions at least long enough to get the job done. Afterward, the normal election year battling can resume. Politicians should remember that hot rhetoric won't fill an empty stomach. It won't create a job. It won't get the people's business done.
Mr. Bush also praised Americans who expressed their thankfulness by helping others.
You might think that the Pilgrims are responsible for your Thanksgiving holiday, but a Florida researcher says not so.
An anthropologist at the University of Florida, George Amilagos, says the tradition of recreation and feasting was a small celebration in the early days. It was, he says, relatively unimportant. It only became a national holiday in 1863, when President Lincoln saw it as a way to unite the nation, torn by civil war.
Isn't that interesting? All sorts of different theories. We hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, whatever your traditions are. And we're glad you could join us on Day Watch for this Thanksgiving Day. I'm Donna Kelley.
I'm Bob Cain. Here's Catherine Cryer now with a look at what's next on Cryer and Company.
Thanks, Bob. Donna, well, you may not be able to take the children to your local zoo or aquarium if some animal rights groups have their way. They want to shut down the facilities, charging them with cruelty. Zoos and aquariums counter, saying they play a vital role in society, both in conservation and education. We'll examine both sides of the debate next on Cryer and Company.
Generations. To be part of one is much more than the simple matter of your birthday. It's to be part of an era. It's to have fallen in love to a rock band and not a big band, or to have played ball with an aluminum bat instead of a wooden one. It's to have done things as no other generation would. And yet it's also to share one idea with all of them. For every generation, there's a gap.
What is wild? Wild is an exciting blend of herbs and spices, and the goodness of Uncle Ben's rice. Wild is Uncle Ben's long grain and wild rice, and wild is wonderful.
Coming up, Fryer and Company, followed by News Hour after this local commercial break here on CNN.
When Charles Gabus speaks, people listen. When Charles Gabus prices cars and trucks, people buy. This week's specials include 30 new loaded Tempo GLs. Charles Gabus said sell them at $89.88. Air, cruise, tilt, cassette, stereo, and much more, only $89.88. Or 30 92 Tauruses, not $16,000. Charles Gabus priced them from $12,988. Yes, redesigned Tauruses as low as $12,988. All must go. Save thousands today at Charles Gabus Ford, the big store.
You're gonna see the light. We're gonna see you through. You know we do things right. We're always there for you. The world keeps rearranging. One thing's never changing.
Wherever Iowans gather, more are covered by the plans of Blue Cross and Blue Shield than any other.
Don't you know it's true? You just can't be